Code is king. Indian scholar Pingala, sometimes between 5000 and 2000 BC, first described binary code, the same code used by computers today. Gottfried Leibniz is the first modern reference to the binary system in papers published in 1679 AD. The ENIAC, the electronic numerical integrator and calculator, was invented in 1943 under a Department of Defense contract, used binary code and vacuum tubes, octal-based radio tubes, to manipulate numbers from code punched in Hollerith punch cards. The program to test certain calculations in the Manhattan Project was over 1 million punched cards, 500 boxes of cards. By the year 2000, just 57 years after the ENIAC, line-coded programs were enormous, with millions of lines of code, and object-oriented programming was just gaining traction. Bill Gates is the #1 line coder in operating systems, and Microsoft still dominates the operating system market. Windows 2000, developed over 25 years, had over 30 million lines of code. When requested by the U.S. Justice Department to produce hard copy, Gates declined and told them it was almost impossible to print. Here's why. Assume 66 lines per 11 by 17 sheet of green bar paper with 1,700 sheets per box. If the code were printed in single copy, would require 268 boxes. For a mental picture, assume 20 feet per floor, and the code would be as tall as a 14-story building. Steve Jobs, the #1 internet device maker, started Apple 1 year after Microsoft and used some of Bill Gates' line coding initially. He was fired, and when rehired, he used object-oriented programming. The year 2000 caused problems for computers where programmers did not anticipate dates after 1999 in the line code. In retrospect, 2000 was a significant year in the history of Internet communication because in 57 years, approximately 264 years after binary was published, there were so many standards like ASCII, JPEG, TIFF, PDF, etc., that there was a need to manage content efficiently, and content management software was developed. By the way, content is jargon for symbols including numbers, text, colors, images, and sounds converted to ones and zeros to be transmitted any place with a receiver for almost real-time communication. Content management systems are based on object-oriented programming. The open source code is free, one of the original tenets of the Internet. It's taught in schools today. My granddaughter learned HTML in the 5th grade in 2009. The explosive growth of the Internet is because millions of people use and will use code to communicate by web pages. Windows-based developers use CMS to do what Apple users do without knowing anything about CMS. It's kind of like learning to type on a tiny keyboard compared to using a voice-to-text plugin, a free Dragon iPhone app. Social networks are the modern versions of electronic bulletin boards. Content is converted to point-and-click web pages, and masses have joined. Today, Facebook has over 12% of the world's population as subscribers, thanks to language translators, and Zynga has figured out how to monetize play. Stay tuned.